afternoon. This is Rich Nass, Executive Vice President of Open Systems Media, here for this week's segment with Ray Zinn, which I'm sure you know by now is the author of the book Tough Things First, where he teaches people how to be great leaders. And he's also pretty well known as being Silicon Valley's longest-serving CEO. He's the former CEO of Micrel. Good afternoon, Ray.
Hi. Thanks for inviting me again, Rich.
Oh, my pleasure. These things are starting to be lots of fun.
Yeah.
So let's talk about something that's was in the news recently that, I don't know if it affects us at all, but it affected us years ago. The fact that Andy Grove passed away a week ago or so. He was one of the most well-known folks in our industry, as he was the CEO of Intel, and he certainly drove them to some historic levels. So let me ask you, let me put you in the shoes of the CEO of Intel during the boom times of the PC era. What would you have done differently, or would you have done everything exactly the same as Andy did it?
Well, Andy, as you know, wrote the book Only the Paranoid Survive, and certainly that's Andy's kind of his mantra, was that he was looking around everywhere. He was just a paranoid type individual, and he was a great mind. He had a good knowledge and concept of the industry, having started in the industry back in the 50s with Bob Noyce and those folks at Bell Labs or Shockley, and he was just a kind of a driven individual. He had the concept of confrontational type of management, and I don't know that I totally subscribe to a confrontational type of leadership. It certainly worked for Andy, and having known many that worked at Intel at those levels, where they would be interfacing with Andy, they got used to that confrontational leadership style. It wasn't with a lot of animosity. It was just more, if you didn't like something, speak your mind and let's get it out on the table. Let's don't pussyfoot around with it. So that was kind of Andy's style. And I don't like to denigrate anybody's management style if it works for him, and certainly it worked for Andy, and the people that worked there also felt that style appeared to work, at least in that environment that Andy set up. So it was a confrontational style. I don't know that I totally subscribe to it for my type of personality and leadership style, but certainly it worked for Andy.
Well, I think you raise a good point that you sort of have to go with who you are and not try to be what you're not. Exactly.
Everybody has their own bag of tools that they work with, and what works best for one doesn't necessarily work better for or work as good for the other. So we all come to this earth with different personalities and traits, and we have to work with what God gave us and the traits and behavior attitudes that we have that we either were raised with or that we learned through our experience is really what makes us who we are. Rich, you're different than I am, obviously, and your style is different, but we learn to get along by accepting each other's differences and working together as opposed to trying to oppose each other's differences.
So when they put you on the spot here, your style obviously was very successful at Micrel. Do you think that your style would have worked at Intel and you would have been able to grow the company to the same heights that Andy Grove did?
Well, yeah, just put me on the spot. I'm not saying that that my style was better. It's just different than Andy's. As I said, I had a few people that worked for Andy that ended up working for me at Micrel, and they enjoyed, appreciated my style. They didn't necessarily say that Andy's style was was a poor style, just a different style. And if I were running Intel, during that time frame, would I have done a better job than Andy? I don't know. I mean, that's hard to say because, again, Andy was a successful leader. He also enlisted a lot of loyalty and support from his people, and that's the key. I mean, as long as your people are willing to work for you and generate that loyal support, then, of course, your style is good. And we could go on and talk about other styles, and maybe we'll do that at a later visit. But I don't know that I would have done any worse than Andy. Certainly, my style is different. And again, I don't mean to step on Andy's parade because certainly he did a good job while he was there. So. I don't know. Can we leave it at that, Rich?
Yep, we could certainly leave it at that. And I think we're out of time for this week's segment. And you handled that masterfully. I want to thank you very much for your time for this week, and I look forward to speaking to you again next week.
Well, thanks, Rich. I always enjoy our visits.
Same here. That was Ray Zinn. He is the former CEO of Micrel, and I am Rich Nass with Open System Media. You have a great day.
Thank you.